First flight of the Airblue Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
The difference.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Saying that the difference between the people who do this massive naked short selling and the rest of us is that the rest of us are willing to take economic risk, but no legal risk. So we invest and we hope we make money, but we take the risk that we don't make money. But we do it legally because we're not going to take a legal risk. The difference is these people are willing to take legal risk, but no economic risk. And the fact is that this kind of fraud is designed so they can't lose.
Hey guys. Alright, so I just played the clip for YouTube of the one that I just posted in Trade Talk Chat. Welcome to Wednesday's AMC podcast. I found that clip a little bit interesting because it kind of does go into exactly, what we're seeing, right? Like the manipulation, and they don't care. They don't care about what they do and the implications and laws that there are. They just they just do what they want to do, right? When it comes to hedge funds. So, and yes, we are talking about AMC today. I invite anybody up here that has AMC data to come talk. We have a few of the GME people in here that maybe they want to learn about it, which would be cool. Because there is definitely a play. It's something I've followed since January. I've done a lot of the DD on it. So I definitely encourage, and I'm hoping. We are supposed to have David versus Goliath in here to talk about it because he's a sponge when it comes to a lot of this. So we'll see. But I do want to address a very, very large elephant I have found in my room. So it pertains to the Say technology that Robinhood is using, or that just acquired, or whatever goofiness is going on with it, and Robinhood. And I'm sure a lot of you guys saw my tweet that I am getting out of Robinhood officially. You guys know how big that is for me. You know there has to be some weird tipping point to make me get out of something that I have tried to support. I have tried to give them the benefit of the doubt, and it's not worth it to me anymore. I was on a space call last night with Jim Making Me Crazy and a few of the others, Akel and everyone, and it was brought out, and this is what made me start looking into this, and you'll see why this pertains to AMC here in about 2 seconds. It was brought to my attention that people have started getting harassing calls telling them that they need to sell their AMC shares. That and they're they'll come get them, they'll force them to sell them or whatever. And whether this is a troll or not, I don't know. But people's phones are being bricked. One of the girls had their Twitter account completely obliterated. Like she almost lost her entire account that she's been building up, and she does follow all the AMC people, and that's her her AMC family. And it took her like 45 minutes with tech support to try to even get it back, and thankfully she did. So there's just some really funky things going on last night, and there were many people. I did ask if this was Android based, if there was more people with Android having these problems, or if it was Apple people, and come to find out it's laptops, it's phones, it's all kinds of things getting just destroyed. And so I was like, I asked the question, and I'm gonna wrap myself out here. I didn't vote. I did not use the Say technology. I didn't trust it. I voiced this to a few people, and I got kind of some backlash. But I was just like, I just don't. I don't feel comfortable putting that information into a technology or a company that I don't know, right? And that was my own personal thing. As I tell everyone that you have your own personal stuff, and I am finding that a lot of the people that did this, and they're having problems. So if anybody in YouTube or anyone in the Discord or anyone on Twitter, whoever is listening to this, if you guys had problems, please let me know. If you're having people call and harass you, if you're having problems with your accounts, like some people have had their brokerage accounts hacked into, they've had their social media accounts hacked into, and so this made me question basically what was going on. And so because the amount of events, these events didn't really start happening this bad until the Say technology thing, the vote, right? And so that was with AMC, and I started having a friend. I won't list who unless they want to come forward. I had a friend start helping me kind of dig into it, and we found that. Let me pull up these articles. This thing. We found that the Say technology is owned by ByteDance. And so why that like ByteDance is the parent company. Okay, and okay, Kenna, what the fuck does this have to do with AMC? Okay, so we all had these bad things saying that they can't call and harass me if I don't answer the phone. No, that's totally logical. Um, we all remember like the whole thing with TikTok, and TikTok was bad because they, uh, they sell your information, right? And well, ByteDance is the same parent company for TikTok and a few of the others. And let me switch over. Let me switch my monitors here. So ByteDance, um, yeah. So ByteDance is owned. Actually, the original CEO he stepped down, and his partner stepped up, and everything. So I'm still researching this, guy. So take this as kind of like a breaking type thing. But they parent company of TikTok, parent company of this whole Say thing. So they're literally um, using this ByteDance as a information mining apparatus. So like here I can like and this was the other thing that I had found. Washington Post. I can't pull up these links because they're behind paywalls, and I'm not going through all that right now. So I will put a whole thing together with all of this information. But if you go through here, it looks great, right? Like, so yeah, including TikTok, Kilo, Resso, platform specific to the China market. And so what interested me is that the Chinese government now has a small seat at the board. So they are mining data. And so I want you guys to be careful. I want you guys to be careful with these kinds of things, and I don't think that I will yeah, I will wait. Are you posting in this channel the content? I will post all the links, guys, here in just a little bit in the Discord. I'm basically just showing it on YouTube right now. But I just want you guys to be very careful when you give out information. I need you guys to be very diligent about, researching. When people are asking you to connect accounts, financial accounts, things like that, it you have to do your DD on it. Take stance. Okay. So, okay, this one actually is not behind a paywall, so I can actually show this. All right, so I will pop this button back up, guys. There we go. All right, so this one, yeah, password changes are definitely recommended. So yeah, another sign of China's tightening grip on the country's growing technology sector. Government has taken an ownership stake in the subsidiary that controls domestic China social media and information platforms of ByteDance and the Beijing-based company that owns TikTok. Okay. Chinese government has acquired a 1% stake in and one of 3 seats of the board of the Beijing ByteDance Technology Co. Limited, the subsidiary that holds licenses that underpin the company's domestic video and information sharing platforms, according to a person familiar with the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive matters. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing to you guys. But to think about it for a sec, like there was actually a thing that Trump tried to do where he banned ByteDance. Like he was trying to get it to where they were banned from being used because of such practices and things. So, and I will post these links in the description too, so you guys can check them out. But it's we are in a weird time frame right? We are definitely in a um, informational warfare, misinformation, whatever you want to say. So when it comes to AMC, yeah, it might seem great. It might say, yes, it does, John Diamond. John Diamond, we were talking about the Say Technology Company. And David and Goliath is in here, so, or David versus Goliath, sorry. So I will invite you up to speak. But yeah, so just be careful. That's just my caution. Look into things if people are, I don't believe. I want to have full faith that Adam Aaron wasn't knowledgeable. That sucks because you should be knowledgeable about people that you do business with and or whatever. But I don't think he was knowledgeable in that sense. But yeah, okay. So I just got this. Donald Trump signs executive order to ban ByteDance and something else in the U.S. So I will post that link too in the Discord and everything here in a bit. But I am wondering if it was presented in a sense, if this company was presented in a sense to target the AMC investors, because it's odd, right? Like it's totally odd. So I don't know. I'm very curious because I don't know any of my GME people. If you're in here, have you guys been getting anything weird in pertaining to selling your stocks or anything like that? I would love to hear you guys. I am trying to figure that out. Oh, why is... Sorry guys. Give me one sec. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious. So that's my big thing with AMC, the big information thing that I did find. Let me catch up on YouTube real quick on what you guys are all saying. Goodness. Deleted my say. Can't call and harass me. Okay, already read that. Saw some reports about people getting a lot of unsuccessful login attempts on the brokerage after having registered, but wasn't sure if it's true. Sounds likely at this point, though. Skinto, I'm glad you enjoy these conversations. Haven't had any problems. I have Charles Schwab, E-Trade, and Fidelity. No problems at all. Alarm went off when SayTech couldn't see my Apex clearing shares. Made me question if I got IOUs. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with it, guys. Like this is, I have to dive more into this. This is something I was, kind of working on last night, and I only was able to get some answers today from a very reliable source. Data is always mine, nothing ever truly free in the digital world. No, you're 100% true on that. Curious if all Robinhood and Webull people transferred to Fidelity would cause a squeeze based on the thought that many users have IOUs and that transfer would force IOU pressure. It's possible. It's possible because they'd have to actually find the shares. I'm guessing it's the thought process. I'm not sure. It's a good theory. I do know perfectly that some other companies use it. I believe Hood does, but I'm not a shareholder. I saw. Well, Robinhood actually just like they just bought it or something. They acquired it. Let me find the news article about it real quick. Yeah, they bought Say Technology on August 10th for 140 million to improve shareholder company relations. Good Lord, kind of. Let me post this link for you guys. There you go. All right, YouTube, I will have this up for you in just a second. All right, let's read through this. Robinhood buys Say Technology for 140 million to improve shareholder company relations. U.S. consumer invested trading company. Blah blah blah. I'm trying to figure out how they have enough money to do this with between all of their their lawsuits and everything else they have to pay for at this point. Say was backed. Oh, here it is, guys. All right, this is for those that don't know. This is live action DD right here. Say Technology is a venture-backed startup having raised 8 million in 2018. Was backed by Point72 Ventures, which we know is Citadel. The deal is notable because it is Robinhood's first major purchase since going public, and because it illustrates where Robinhood may look to invest some of its newly liquid equity wealth. So yeah, there's that. All right. What in the actual hell? Oh my goodness. By offering to its users base a service like what Say has built, Robinhood can offer a unique twist on retail investing. This feels somewhat analogous to Spotify spending heavy to procure exclusive rights to certain podcasts. Such efforts differentiate Spotify from rivals despite having a commoditized core offering. Trading is now free in many places, so Robinhood layering specialized services on top of its investing services makes good sense, perhaps helping drive user loyalty and net new user ads. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm sorry, guys. This is what pisses me off. Okay, as I've said, I am a big I was a big advocate for Robinhood. I'd been with them since they started. Okay? And the fact that this shit is going on and they're doing this, no, I can't anymore. I tried. I tried my damnedest, and it's just shooting me in the foot every effing time. So, hey, to the moon. To the moon. Are you there? Okay, we'll wait till he comes back. So yeah, I am baffled, guys. I am absolutely baffled. Um, Steve Cohen, Uncle Kenny. Yeah, right. Hello, good evening for everyone. It's evening 4. Hey, Litharium. Yeah, it was Uncle Kenny. It was, and I am fucking I am actually kind of speechless, guys. I am. You know what? I want you guys to, if you can, I'm just gonna post this link now in the YouTube Discord. You already have it. Tweet it out. Tweet it out because this is asinine. This goes back to the infinite loop of money, right? Like my infinite loops of money. Just how they just circle back to each other. And we can't do this anymore. This doesn't stand. This doesn't work. The manipulation, the corruption, the just BS that we're doing is ridiculous. Like it should not be a thing anymore. Right? Like okay. So but anyway, back and this does have to do with AMC in the sense that well, there are people in AMC. Be careful with it. Moon, you are up. What's up?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
So I wanted to comment on, I listened to an interview with Adam Aaron specifically discussing the SoFi issue and the way it was presented by Adam. And I'm starting to kind of believe this guy is more on our side than not. But SoFi presented to AMC, here's a way for you to talk to your stockholders during an earnings call and our service provides you with, this stockholder holds 10,000 shares and they've been upvoted. And so basically the way he presented it was SoFi gave us a tool to be able to talk to our shareholders, and they upvoted, and this question has more validity than the one that's six ones down. So basically he said, look, we signed up to this service believing that they were going to help us communicate with our shareholders. We did not know that Robinhood was going to buy them out. As soon as that purchase took place, Adam Aaron canceled the contract with SoFi. He said, I don't think they represent what AMC wants to project to their shareholders. And so he kind of fell on his own sword and said, look, I kind of screwed up because I didn't realize that Robinhood was going to purchase them and then basically mine our AMC information. And so he said publicly that he has terminated all further business agreements with SoFi, and he felt betrayed. But he kind of was. I feel like he was being very open with. Look, we didn't know Robinhood was going to buy them. Just like you guys don't know what's happening. Insider information is not legal. He said, had I known SoFi was going to be bought by Robinhood, we never would have signed up for the service. So I just kind of wanted to let you know. I listened to Adam Aaron, and he's trying to sort of patch up the damage that was done. And he apologized that, it happened, and he's disconnected any further business dealings with them. So, he admitted there's a limited amount of exposure in that they now know, this person holds 10,000 shares. And so they sort of know who carries a little bit more weight from a stockholder perspective. And he disconnected and wants to have no further communications with them or have any business dealings. So I just kind of wanted to share that with the group here in case they didn't know that, Adam Aaron has addressed this issue. As I listen to the interview, I'm thinking, man, he's trying to do the right thing by saying, look, I apologize, and I won't fuck up again if I can help it. So I just kind of want to let you guys know that Adam Aaron has disconnected any SoFi relations as it pertains to AMC and the data collection and the whole, they marketed a service that actually was sort of the enemy, but he did not know that. So I just kind of want to make sure everybody heard that, from his perspective,
He admitted it. So
he not only screwed up, he admitted to it and he apologized.
that's awesome. Yeah, no, and I wasn't saying like, no, to YouTube, I wasn't saying Point72 is run by Kenny G, but they are partners. That there was something with like some investment, like Citadel helps Point72. There's something.
Absolutely. No.
You're breaking up, to the moon. You're breaking up.
The dots are connected. Robinhood bought SoFi. Robinhood and Citadel have a relationship so that all of SoFi's data mining went right to Citadel. We can't undo that. Adam Aaron admitted that he was sort of taken aback by it. And all he can tell us is, look, I've disconnected any association, and I'm sorry for any damage that was done. But going forward, he wants to have nothing to do with anything relating to Citadel. Now you have to understand, he's got a lot of attorneys telling him what he can and can't say. So he was sort of very careful in how he discussed it. And basically, look, I can't do business with them anymore based on what I've learned. And so I've disconnected our agreement, and that's all I can tell you about it. And so we have to, I want to believe that Adam Aaron is sort of like is on our side. I don't think he sold us out. I think it was more, he got duped and he's really feeling kind of shitty about it.
Yeah, I believe that. And I mean, that's terrible. Like, it really is that. But I guess I just wish that, he would have looked into it more. Because
but he didn't know, Robinhood isn't going to disclose that they're buying this company. It's like anything else, insider information. Robinhood can't share, hey, we're buying SoFi. And so Adam Aaron's position is, if I would have known this, I would have never agreed to do business with them. We didn't know Robinhood was going to buy them. when when it was announced, he was like, "I'd learn just like you guys did." So I want to kind of. I've been in a position where you have to be very careful of what you can disclose and not disclose because his attorneys are basically advising him, look, if you kind of exposed yourself to selling information to the enemy, we're going to get our ass sued. So his disclosure is, I didn't know Robinhood was going to buy. Nobody else knew. Robinhood announced it, and I heard like everybody else did, and he immediately disconnected their service at that point. So I have to kind of go, all right, whatever damage was done, we can't undo it, but he's doing right by us by disconnecting from any further association with Citadel. He wants to stay as clear from Citadel as he can because he kind of knows that we know, the short sellers are going to do anything they can to kind of screw with us, and he doesn't want to participate in helping them. And I kind of like that he stepped forward and took responsibility for, look, I got duped. I'm sorry. There's nothing I could have done to prevent it, and that's all he can say about it.
Yeah, no, I get that. And it's just unfortunate. It really is.
It is.
But I mean, we're all human, right? Like
Yep.
we're fighting against some interesting
Yep.
people, and I just I
Yeah,
don't know.
don't underestimate our enemies. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this a long time, and they're pretty smart. So we have to give them credit for, all the screwing around they're doing. We got to be prepared for, they're going to come up with every trick they can
Mm,
to kind of screw us over. They want us to sell, and they'll do anything they can to get there.
absolutely. And I think this is just where it's I the AMC apes, right? The AMC apes, they're a different breed from the GME apes, 100%, in the sense that, we have a different type of ruthlessness. Like they're all over Twitter, they're all over YouTube. We're out there. The AMC apes are out there constantly talking, constantly keeping lines of communication open. GME, we're trying to get that more or less the same, but they're on Reddit. Um, and so it would make sense that they target AMC because and I know I get some backlash for this, and that's fine. But AMC is home. That was my original home in the community, and I stand by it. I absolutely do stand by it. And you know, there's various plays that can be done, and there's various things that can be said. But at the end of the day, the float, guys, the only good thing that came out of this say technology thing is we learned that with very few people in the community voting, there was an astronomical amount of shares reported. And if that doesn't put any kind of conviction into the stock itself, into AMC, then I don't know what else could. Because I've been saying, for months, we're 7, 8 times shorted. And there's some people that have done some data that's at 14 times, which that's just astronomical.
Yep.
I can't. That makes me want to puke at this point. But if it's any constellation, guys, like you figure, okay, if we're saying, if we say my number 7 to 8 times, that's 700 to 800% shorted. Okay, that's unheard of. That's predatory. That's not right at all. And the idea that you have hedge funds that were going after a company that was going under due to COVID because no one could go and things were locked down, and and they were on the brink, guys. Like AMC, they weren't able to pay rent in Miami and a few other places. Like they weren't able to pay their bills. They were on the brink. They were being killed very slowly. And I mean, if you're a betting man, which these hedge funds are, yeah, you're gonna say, yeah, this company's going down. I'm gonna short it and make sure that my bet, because they don't have to, pay back the shares. If a company goes down, they're shorts and everything, they don't have to pay them back. So that's just extra money in their pocket. So it's it's disgusting. And so in having the AMC, there are good things that AMC is trying to do. Like the fact that he said, hey, we're going to start, hosting live sporting events. Like they did a test run with the UFC and that went over really well. And now they're going to start doing other things. Hey, more power to you. Get a different audience because, if you're smart, which I'll give it to him. If you're smart, you see what's going on here, right? You have gamers and you have moviegoers. And gamers, they like watching games. They like betting on games. They like doing all other things. So, maybe, I heard something about, Jamie, I don't know. I'm not going to spread that kind of information working with them. But, if he's, it's the age group, right? So maybe they don't want to go see a blockbuster movie, but they want to go with their friends and go watch, the Super Bowl or whatever else on this massive ass theater TV screen or movie theater screen, sorry. Because why not? Why would you not want to, you guys can go rent out a theater. Pretty cheap, actually. You can actually go rent out a theater. Why wouldn't you rent out a theater for a Super Bowl party? Like, that would be epic. Right? You have concessions. You don't have to cook meals. You can go and and you can order concessions from your phone, have them delivered or whatever to the theater while you're partying it up with your Super Bowl friends and whatever. Like, hello, it's brilliant. It was a brilliant idea, and I don't know if it was Adam that came up with it or some marketing person that came up with it, but whoever did, congrats to you because you found a niche, and it's a very interesting niche. Hallister, you can
So,
talk. Hallister, I know you just came up.
Well, sure. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to kind of add on to a couple of the other points that were made earlier. Like, in terms of AA looking into it a little bit more. I mean, one of the things, just kind of having been around the business for a while, is like he's the CEO, and I mean, obviously he's got a lot of people reporting into him, like giving him information, stuff like that. I mean, he doesn't make those kind of decisions necessarily in a vacuum. It would be kind of more so on his people to do kind of the DD and then come to the decisions and like present that to him. So I mean, I wouldn't personally necessarily blame him for that decision, although it's kind of unfortunate, um, in terms of like where we are with say. Um, but I mean, that said, I mean, I know you mentioned it. Like when we look into the statistics, and it's interesting. Like even with this group here, we see that some of the folks here in the Discord and some of the folks here in the YouTube did use it. Some of us didn't. Um, but even so, like when you look at the ones that did, which was definitely a statistically significant sample, like there were some really interesting Reddit posts on that from people that are better with math and statistics than I am, but they projected uh, the number of shares that were being reported by the people that did use it to the shareholder base, and the estimates of the float that were owned by retail were kind of astronomical, like by those measures. And like I said, they were very significant sample sizes. I mean, um, I come from a profession that uses statistics like quite a bit, like when it comes to sampling and testing, and even like a sample size of call it 25, 45, 60 items when it comes to a large population is statistically significant, and they certainly had way more than that. There are some biases potentially when it comes to that. I don't know, maybe larger shareholders were more likely to use it versus not, or maybe smaller shareholders were more likely to use it, versus not. I mean, you never really know, but I just kind of wanted to underscore that point a little bit in terms of, taking the folks that did use it and the estimates that were done. Um, it is certainly valid from a mathematical perspective.
Thank you for that. Yeah, it was for someone that's done a lot of the mathematics, the data crunching, and just trying to figure out, that was the biggest question back in February, March was what's the floor? How many synthetics? What are we looking at? Failure to delivers, blah, 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 blah. And having to crunch that many numbers. And this was back when the float was, a half, a fifth of, what it is now. And so, I was constantly trying to keep up with the numbers and that, guys, I'm sorry. I just couldn't. We kept adding more shares and kept adding more shares. And so you can't, I couldn't keep following who was buying what. And then you had the whole thing with Murdoch and all this other craziness. So, it got hard to track who was doing what at that point. And now that it's slowed down a little bit, I think I can get back with a few people like Millennial Monk and whatnot, and we can try to kind of pinpoint it down again to see what we're looking at in terms of possible synthetics, possible failure to delivers, the shorts and everything. Like we might be able to do it with Silent and everyone. So I will try. I can't guarantee anything. Never will I guarantee anything coming out of me at this point because it's so chaotic. But I do stand at minimum. At minimum, I think we're at 7 to 8 times over the float held by retailers. Not held period, but I think by retailers. It's insane because you figure um, the amount of people buying, like this is I think what baffles me. There's still people buying. Everyone buys on a daily basis. You can see that happening, and it's not just the algorithmic trading. The hundreds here, the 200s there, or whatever the goofiness. It's the 50 shares here, the 62 shares there, the 5 shares here. People are still buying, and we're not seeing the reflection on the price because we should still be seeing that reflection on the price movement, it going up and going up and up. And so um, I I still believe in it. And I have more conviction in it now than ever. Um, just based on the you know just the pure principle of it. And we haven't seen the shorts cover. If anything, the utilization's going up again. And we haven't, the 72, 71, $72 run up. That was just a taste. That was their little tease of, okay, this is what it can do. Like, to me, in a sense, they were trying to see what could happen. When they cover just a little bit, just a teensy bit, what would happen, and it becomes a runaway train very quickly. Because there is just so much tension. It's like a rubber band at this point. It's a constant pulling back and pulling back and pulling back before the slingshot just goes, right? So I'm very curious. Tuda Moon, did you have something to add?
So, have you watched? There's a YouTube channel called Charlie's Bids. Are you familiar with that?
I am not, unfortunately.
So Charlie's Bids, his whole thing is he is a data miner. He digs into documents, he digs into filings. He's a really good DD on connecting the dots of, okay, here's what we know is valid data because it's being reported and it's being, it's a publicly available. If you know how to dig, you can start mining data. He's really good at that, and I've been kind of following him. And his DD would suggest we're at like 1,700%, and the DTCC has already started going, holy crap, we got to put a cap on this because this is nuts. And I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but he kind of posted something on YouTube. I'm like, man, if this guy is even half right, this is going to be like the whole market is going to just absolutely be melted down when this all starts to play out. And so, look, Ken, I believe your 700 or 800% is totally valid. And I'm going to validate that. I don't believe you have any reason to think that that is a number that is hard to crunch, because he's looking at 1,700%. I'm like, holy crap. I mean, the DTCC has already started talking about, if you believe his DD, which, again, you look at what he's posting, the DTC is already kind of going, we got to put a cap on the total maximum amount that we can allow this stock to be sold for. Otherwise, it's going to be out of control. Now, that's a pretty significant, if they're going to start capping the price, they already know this is a huge problem. So what is that cap going to be? I don't know. He didn't really reveal that. But apparently there's some, DD that would suggest the DTCC is going to say, you can't let it go any higher than this, and we are going to tamp that down as this is the maximum of a stock price that we can allow to take place. And it's like commas and zeros. I'm like, crap, if this is even half right, this is huge.
Oh,
So,
it is. So, and
yeah.
that's actually it's funny that you say that. So, and this kind of goes into my whole philosophy that like they, in a sense, it would be very, very bad if they actually tamp down, if they say we can't let these stocks go this high. So, like, you take, like, okay, before I get totally ridiculed, obviously I know the situation with Berkshire. I know they've never split the stock. I know they've never added any stock, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. That's not the point here. So they trade at what, 400 some odd thousand, and they they actually told them that they can't let the stock go any higher. I mean, and that's just a regular stock, right? I mean, and yes, again, different circumstances, different. I know, but that it's just a proven thing. Like 400 and some odd thousand for a freaking stock. Are you kidding me? So, in this, when it comes to the MOAS, okay, if everyone wants to kind of hear my theory on this one, the MOAS, right, the mother of all short squeezes, the killer of all, like, this is gonna be ugly, and this is why I say do not touch inverses right now. Inverses are very bad because you guys know, if you've listened to me 1,000 times, you know that AMC, GME are linked with about 20 ETFs. It could be more than that now. But what happens when certain stocks go up when they share ETFs, right? Well, a lot of the same stocks in those ETFs, they will go up. They will trend up, which will pump up the market for just a brief second. Well, I have a theory that when this starts running, right? They're going to be taking assets out of tech. Tech right now, tech and biomed right now are the two big ones that are being played. They have the most money in them right now. And that's why I say there's a tech bubble, because the cost of technology for the innovation that is at play right now, it doesn't align. It is way too expensive for the innovation. So eventually that's going to catch up. So like Apple, the iPhone, think of every generation of iPhone. We don't really see big advances from year to year. Now, if you look at the 3GS to now, yeah, huge innovation. But year to year, it doesn't match. But we have this thing where if they have to draw out their liquidity, their assets from tech and everything, the crypto things that they are highly invested in right now, that will drop that part of the market. In turn, it could drop the stocks because, well, they share the ETFs, but then a roller coaster ride happens. They start covering AMC, GameStop, BlackBerry, Nokia, whatever, and the ETFs go back up. The SPY goes back up, the NASDAQ, whatever. They all go back up, but then, well, retailers, we sell off, they sell off, and they're buying and trading, and then the market just goes down because there's nothing in there. There's no money in it. And so, and then the other theory is that if the market crashes, it would force them to cover their shorts. A market crash because of their bad positions, and for shorts and things like that, their debts owed. They owe that they have to pay that debt. And so if a market crash were to happen, they'd be pulling their assets again out of good investments to cover their bad positions so that they can kind of hopefully maybe survive. But at the same time, we know that they're hedging. They're doing exactly what a hedge fund does. They're putting puts and calls on various things. They're putting puts on the SPY and the NASDAQ and the Dow. They're putting call options on the inverses. And I'm talking far out of the money call options and put options on these different investments. And so, they're preparing. They're preparing for something. They know it's going to happen. We just have to be patient. We just have to be patient. So yeah, no, I totally agree. Like the market will be forever changed after the MOAS. Things will have to be fixed. But if they were to tamp down, if they were to restrict how high these stocks can go, you can basically kiss our stock market goodbye, because people would say, oh, well, but the hedge funds can make X amount of dollars. They can make all this money. They can do this, but retailers can't. You can kiss international investors goodbye. You can kiss domestic investors goodbye, corporations and things, because the idea of a free market no longer there. It's gone.
Right.
So I mean, it's a bad play if they were to do that.
And I totally concur with that, but I also understand the rationale of we got to figure out how to cap this. Otherwise, it'll go out of control. And, then the downside to that is everything melts down. And so it was sort of, I appreciated the fact that the DTCC has to kind of figure out, okay, how do we manage this so that it doesn't become a thermonuclear meltdown to our market? So, part of me says they're being rational in that, okay, if we do this right, it's still going to be a lot of money and nobody's going to accuse us of trying to stop a free market. If the number is high enough, everybody's still going to be happy. That's better than this thing getting out of control and it melts down all of our markets. And so I kind of, if I'm the government and I see this train wreck coming, I kind of want to know that somebody is at least trying to figure out, you're still going to make a lot of money, but we got to figure out how to make sure, the market doesn't go into a complete meltdown where we have nothing left but ashes. So I would rather see a proactive process of, look, if somebody tells me the maximum I can make is 10,000 a share, I'm not going to bitch about that. At least somebody is trying to govern this in a way that makes me feel like, okay, there's not going to be nothing left but ashes if they manage this. So, I just kind of wanted to let you know that some of the filings would indicate that there's been a lot of people that have been looking at this for a lot longer than we've given them credit for, because these filings are like, they're already 2 weeks old, 3 weeks old, 30 days old. And Charlie gets to the point where he's aggregating all this data, and it's sort of like, holy shit, they've been kind of planning on this for a while now. And it makes sense that they're like, okay, the bigger this is, the more we got to kind of know. That's our job. Otherwise, we're going to look really crappy if everything melts down and we haven't been proactive in trying to explain to the government this is our job and that's why we capped it. It's sort of like the lesser of the two evils, I guess. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to share with you, there's some DD of real data that makes me get really comfortable that this is going to happen. All we got to do is wait. And however long it's going to take, I don't know. But, if they're talking about capping this thing in 5 figures, I'm not going to bitch about that. Okay, if I can only get 10,000 a share, boo-hoo, I'm going to really be unhappy. I would rather know that's a guarantee rather than not knowing what's going to happen in a unmanaged, if this thing's going to spike up to some stupid number for 3 days and then it goes down and it's over with, well, we're kind of done. Whereas if I kind of know, okay, if it's going to be X number of dollars, that's going to give us a longer period of time, because the lower the amount, the more shares they're going to have to buy before they're going to get to the real float. And that's what made me kind of go, holy crap, okay, I'm okay with that. I would rather know if they've capped it, this is what I know it's going to be worth, as opposed to nobody knows what it's going to be worth if nobody's regulating this. It could be $10 or it could be $10,000. If the DTC is going to tell me, okay, the cap is going to be 10,000 a share, they've already planned on it going that high. I can live with that. If that makes any sense. I mean, I'm just trying to be comfortable with if they're going to tell us we're going to kind of control the free market, y'all are still going to make a lot of money. And, I'm not going to bitch about that. I would rather kind of know that they've looked out for me in some way.
Yeah, for sure. Spoiler? Hey, welcome. Spoiler, are you there? Might have to get back to him. Hallister? Oh,
Hold
there he
on,
is.
hold on. I have to talk. Just continue. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna take you outside so it's quiet, so there's no background.
No worries. Hallister, did you have anything to add?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, building off of that point. I mean, I'm not sure really that I would be entirely comfortable with. I mean, I understand what you're saying in terms of the government or whatnot trying to kind of control like the broader impact of what's going on. But it'd still be a limitation on kind of everything in the big picture. I mean, I think it would, um, undermine some faith in the markets broadly in terms of like a broad admission of having cheated, especially if nobody goes under at the end of the day, which I mean, I assume that they would. Um, with especially you'd mentioned like Charlie's vids and I watched a lot of those. I follow a lot of the work that he does, and I mean the acceleration of like NSCC 005, like at the beginning of September, like the increased margin call requirements that we were, or I'm sorry, margin deposit requirements that we'd been talking about the other day. I mean, I do think all of those things are going to have some kind of impact. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting point, but one thing I kind of wanted to cover. I saw a question in YouTube that I thought was a good question. It was from Letharium, and he was asking. He said kind of one of the big questions that bugs me is like why the $70 run up? Like why did they let off steam then? And why have some of the other meme stocks like Bed Bath and Beyond, BlackBerry, Workhorse, Cost, like why haven't they kind of gotten to that level? Um, and so I just wanted to weigh in on that a little bit. I mean, I think in terms of why only the $70 run up, um, I mean, my view, which is not necessarily based in raw data, but just having looked at what happened and how quickly it happened. I mean, I think um, they were able in a sense to kind of push it down quite a bit at that point. And I mean, there were folks that um, may have been newer to the movement that didn't maybe they weren't in since January, maybe they didn't know all the DD, maybe there were some people that sold. I mean, even like Portnoy did, for example, right, like back in January.
And again
And
recently.
right. And then like looking
Oh
at
my
the
God.
options change, just like I think the way it was able to run to 70 as quickly as it did had a lot to do with Gamma on the options, because they had no idea that it was going to run the way they did. And so even some of the big players, even if they were engaging in illegal activities in their shorting, um, they still had to hedge the legitimate shorts that they had, um, along the options chain. So I mean, I think that's kind of why like it got to 70 and then came back down. I mean, looking at some of the charts and looking at how this thing has acted the past few days, and some of the things that BAM is saying and a number of other factors. I mean, I think we might be in for another run like that soon. I mean, obviously no dates and not financial advice, and that's just my opinion. But I am starting to see um, some good things potentially coming for AMC. But in terms of why the others haven't done that, uh, I mean, part of it I think just comes down to what I would call like the community, which I mean, you want to be careful with that term, because I mean it's not necessarily people acting in tandem. I mean, there's nothing nefarious about it, but I would just say it's the collective knowledge base of DD that's been done on these particular stocks. When I talk about like GME and AMC, like the raw data that we have in terms of the short interest that is on paper, as well as the strong suspicion of naked shorting, and like the extremely low price that both of these stocks were when this kind of all started. I mean, even like while a lot of those other names you mentioned, like while they were still relatively low priced and they did have significant short interest, they weren't, you know, $4 or $2 or under $2, in late 2020, like coming into 2021. So I think the fact that a lot of the short interest was there on the front end when the stock prices were that low, and then they started to make some runs, triggered the gamma throughout the options chain, everything like that, and the fact that those other guys were relatively newer ones, that I mean, there was speculation at certain points that some of those names could have been put out there in an attempt to divert attention from the main plays. And I'm not saying they don't have their own merits. I mean, I've been in some of those guys before. I might get back in some of those guys again. I'm sure there's some other people in here that are or have been invested in them, but just wanted to share my view on that.
I think that's a pretty good view on that. I believe that first run up of AMC was to take pressure off the stock, to do that false squeeze, so that they could spin that narrative in the mainstream media, which I believe they did. Well, it squeezes done, it's all over. Okay, nothing to see here. Move on to the next thing. That's what I believe. That's what AMC was. GME was the one that caught them with their pants down. There's no doubt about it. They took the buy button away on that bad boy. So this thing with the reverse repos that Charlie's been exposing and stuff of that nature, if you look at the market cap of Citadel as a company, it's like what is it? No, I think they're $1 billion, or it's in the billions. Now, if you take a look at some of the people that are on the long side, that being Vanguard and BlackRock, Citadel is a small fish.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you something. Those are the big guys. Those are the major players. They're not going to settle for $10,000 a share. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you look what's happening with the reverse repo market right now, they are getting liquid. They are buying time and they are getting cash. They are getting ready for this thing because those boys are not going to settle. So I'm not telling you what your price has to be. I am just telling you need to stop thinking poor now, because everybody that holds this ticket, this is the Charlie Wonka golden ticket. This will be the largest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. And we are of the mindset, because we've been beat on for so many years, working our jobs, doing the things that honorable people do to contribute to society and raise nice people into this world. Okay, we've been beat down. I mean, people in 2008 lost their shirts. Good people, good honest people. These sharks have been in this water for a long, long time. The work that is being done, we are stacking facts. Literally, it's not even me. I'm a dumb plumber. Okay, but I'm smart enough to surround myself with people who are smart, and we have so much information, so much knowledge, and just smart people in this group. They have no idea who we are. I don't interact with these circles, okay? And I'll tell you what, the majority of the people that are in this right now do not interact with these people. They have their own bubble. Keith Gill caught them with their pants down. They never seen him coming. He is truly a legend. They took the buy button to stop that, so that they could go, whoa, what's going on here? We need to stop that. Gary Gensler, the SEC, saw this nefarious action, and they looked into this. Don't think that they don't know what's going on, because they do. They are buying time. This is nothing less. Now, I would not be surprised, okay? Well, you know what? I'll just throw it out there. This isn't financial advice. This is just me talking to you folks. This is what's on my mind. There are no more AMC stocks that you can buy. Legitimate shares are not out there. And I'll go as far as to say this: GameStop is a monster. You look at the market cap, total number of shares that GameStop has compared to AMC. They shorted that company 140%. That's what we know of. Okay. I think it's far more than that. I think Keith Gill knew that. They did it with AMC because AMC was literally going to go bankrupt. They were done. They could not pay their bills. They shorted the hell out of this company. They're like, nobody's going to see it, just like they've done in the past with every other company. This play is solid. You've done the work. You've done all the work for this. Be confident in your position. Add to it as you can, if you can, without financially hurting your family. This is what I need to worry about as an investor and as a human being. I am worried about the people that are in at 70, that are in at 50, that are in at 40, and that are in at 30. Because you know why? They got in based on us. And that stuff that was put out on, that we've been doing on the internet and stuff like that this is going to do its thing. I hold my dollar cost average right now in my shares is $10. I have not sold a single share, not one. I will not sell a single share until this thing does what it's supposed to do. I want to give confidence to the people that have bought in at that high price of 70, 50, 60, whatever your price is, 30, even now. We're here. We're not leaving. We are not going anywhere. And I'll even go as far as this. I will ride my shares to zero if I have to, because I've invested in this properly. I've made sure it doesn't affect my family financially. It doesn't take food out of my wife's and my kids' mouths. I've done this smart. The time that you have now is to make sure that you get there. If you have, I'm holding for that waitress that bought one share. $10,000 is a lot of money. But is it life-changing money for that waitress? I don't think so. I think she's worth more than $10,000. I think her taking a leap of faith and looking at the AMC stock and talking with friends and somebody sharing this with her, I think it's worth more to that woman. She has put in the work in her life trying to be an honorable person. These people have no idea who we are. That is our advantage, people. We need to continue to thrive on that. Support each other, lift each other up. This rivalry or whatever the hell it is, I never even seen it, okay, myself. I hold both. I hold AMC and GME. And I hold other stocks that I know are going to move, in my mind, based on my due diligence. But when I got involved in this in February, I didn't know a damn thing about the stock market. It was voodoo. But I got in because of what happened in January with GameStop. When I saw it on mainstream media, GameStop going to that price target, I was like, what? GameStop? I used to take my kids there and buy them games. I used to buy games there. It's a failing company. The model's not, there's no way. What the hell's going on here? So I got on the computer and I started my research, and that's why I'm here, because I did my due diligence. It's not the company. Well, now it is, because the company is awesome. If you look at its financials, it has no debt. GME is a monster, really. They just need volume. I mean, I have the shares of GME I have, I'm not selling. I'm not selling until AMC does its thing. And I'm going to go buy more GameStop. I mean, that's my play. We need to make sure the FUD, this thing with Apex and what the hell was that company that Robinhood took a position in after the SoFi?
Yeah.
That was a ploy. It was nothing more than Kenny Griffin getting an actual look at how many shares are out there. Now, he was hoping that more people got on that platform and did that. Thankfully, it wasn't. It was a small portion of the actual AMC investors who actually did that. But you know what? It was enough. It was enough for smart people, much smarter than me, to go in and dig up the fact that, hey, you know what? This math is not correct. There's synthetics here. Those are facts. Those are facts. The work that people are doing, like Charlie, Trey, Matt Kors, all those guys, all those giants that are out there, keeping it up. Here is the common thing. We are all human beings. Your why is your why. And I respect that. If you stepped out into this, you're a giant. And here's the other thing. The total people that are invested in AMC and GME make up less than 1% of the 1%. And you know what? That's the total population of the world. So who's the elites now? I want people to go forward knowing that they made the right decision. Somebody told me if I had to invest $10,000 this year today, and I have to wait 2 years or 3 years, and when it comes back to me, it'll be worth $1 million. Let me see. Would I do that? Certainly. I don't care how long this takes. I honestly don't. I mean, it's not going to, it doesn't make a bit of difference in my lifestyle right now. But I know there's people that are invested in this position where it's hurting them because of the price of the stock. This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to get your dollar cost average down, to get so you can breathe again. Get out from under that. You know what I'm saying? Own the stock. Don't let the stock own you, and then we'll see you on the beaches, The play is real. And that's what I got, Kenna. Thank you for letting me speak my piece here.
Yeah,
Of course,
finally,
spoiler.
here. I gotta wipe off the tears now.
I know, right?
Yeah, that
So,
was
this is
motivational.
it. This is what it
Really
is, though. I'm dumb. I can't make this stuff up. This is the cards we're dealt. We've been dealt these shitty hands of cards for how long? I have come to the analogy that human beings as a whole are generally good people, and they want good things. I don't care what country you're from. We all love our families. We all want good things for our families, and we all work and strive for that. So we need to keep that. They don't know that. They've had everything handed to them. This is generational wealth. This is old money we're going to be taking. And here's another thing. I want to end on this a little bit. The total market cap of Apple, of Google, of all those Fortune 500 companies that are in the stock market, if you added up all of that money, okay, and you stuck a number, say $1 million a share, the whole market cap of the stock market won't cover that. And people think it's going to crash. Gary Gensler's not dumb. You know what they're doing? They're not laying this on the market. Because how many trillionaires are in the market? Their own money, not the money they have in the market, the money they have, period. That's the money we're going after. We need to make sure that this market is fixed and it's here for our future generations. And I think that's what the SEC is going to do. With this reverse repo, we've had, 4 days over $1 trillion, right? That's cash. They're gathering cash up. They're making these margins larger, 250,000 from 10,000 to 250,000, which is a joke, really. But you know what it is? The government does not want to be in a situation where we're bailing out. They do not want to be put in that situation again. Because if you think 2008 was bad, can you imagine what the people's sentiment's going to be if they have to bail them out again as a result of the same nefarious action and practices?
well, sadly, I think with 1987, it's gonna happen again. I mean,
Well,
they have that. That Greenspan put is just one of those things that's just gonna kick us in the ass every single time. Sadly.
yeah. But I think that they're putting things in place, the SEC, to protect the market, the government. I mean, the shit rolls downhill. But I believe that these rules that have been put in place, this should have squoze how long ago? I mean, how many people put out dates? I've heard dates since February. This thing still hasn't rolled off. How come? It isn't that it's not supposed to. I think it's being held, and I think it's being held for a reason.
Yep.
And it's so that it does not destroy the market
Yep.
and the world economy. I mean, in essence, there's no other reason that I can come up with based on looking at everybody's DD. I mean, there's people out there that are digging up stuff, man. I mean, they are movers and shakers, and they're doing the work. God, I love you. I love everyone that are out there that are doing that. But you got to see the big plays that are on the board right now. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely us against them. We've won. We've definitely won. Gary Gensler, you know, the patriots of this country, the people that love this country, they don't want to see this crash and totally burn, you know, based on at least a hope I have, you know, as a combat veteran. So they're putting the stuff in place. So that $10,000 mark on your shares, that's your number. That's your number. My number's not that. That's not my number. I'm sorry. I want generational wealth now. I've been here since February. I've added to my position. I've held. I've done the DD. I know the play is real. The rules are in place. I want to get paid. And that's all there is to it. And I want everybody who's in here to get paid, especially those people. I'm holding for the 70s. I'm holding for the 50s. I'm holding for all them people. I could sell. I could cash in. I could have cashed in, you know, when it was 71, and I'd be walking away pretty. But I didn't. I'm holding. I know there's people here that need this money, you know, that deserve this money. And the infighting between GME and AMC, that needs to just stop. That's just bullshit, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. They're brother and sister. I mean,
right. Yeah.
It's if you're an elitist in GME, come on. Good God. I mean, what is that saying? I mean, I don't know what the rating is of this call, but I don't do that. I don't measure, you know, stuff. I'm in the play for money. I'm in the play for the movement too, you know. You guys are literally going to change the world. This is history. History. And you got to get excited about this because we're either going to burn it the hell down, okay, or we're going to fix it. Either way, we win. Really? I mean, do you really want to continue on as business as usual anymore? Or do you want some serious, substantial change? Doesn't the world deserve change at this point? You know, I'm 52 years old. I've seen things, you know, I've been there, I've done, and I haven't seen everything, but you know what? I know there's stuff that's wrong in this world, and money in the right hands of some really good people, I think you can change everything. And you show your heart with the gorillas you sponsor, St. Jude, and it's just their days are done. They're trying to get out. They're thieves in the night. They're done. Just be confident. Be confident in your position, and just know, hey, I'm holding for you guys. You know, and I'll end on that. I've spouted off enough. I want to thank you, though.
Oh, spoiler, it's been a pleasure. I believe you've become a YouTuber favorite on our channel now. Everyone on YouTube is just loving you.
I was just on Kat's Twitter in-house thing there, and I said the same thing. The infighting and all that, that's come on. Mao Zedong's Art of War. What is the first thing in the Art of War? Divide and conquer.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Take out their communications. You got to divide the apes, you know? Nah, ain't happening.
No,
you don't even know who I am.
That's something
They don't know who I am.
That's something that we say all the time. There is no need to divide, you know, AMC, GME. There's a lot of us that hold both. So, you know, you just.
I got to commend you on your platform, Ken. I like where you're going with this, and I like how cordial and polite you really are
Thank you.
human beings. I mean, you can tell you have a good heart, and you want nothing but good intentions for this platform, and I support you 100%. First time I heard you, I was ecstatic.
Oh,
you know?
I appreciate it. No, I mean, my theory is there's enough ugliness in the world. I don't need to be ugly to people. That's not my nature anyway, unless you really
there it is.
piss me off.
Yeah.
But I mean, then all hell's gonna rain down on you. But
There you go.
no. I mean, that's the whole big thing of what I want to do is, you know, get as many people out there and talking, because that's communication's the first step to understanding. And if we can hear everyone's story and everything, there's some truth.
I've expanded on that too. A couple of weeks ago, I was like thinking about this, you know, because I like to dream. This is another thing that this stock has done for me. I'm a 52-year-old dreamer. get to dream again of stuff that, I didn't think I was going to have. I mean, I'm fine. I do well, but it's given me the ability to dream. And I was looking at my phone. I was like, oh, shoot, you know what? I didn't call my buddy and tell him about this stock. What happens if this thing moasses and I'm rich and I call him up? Hey, come on down, man. I really got this cool shit. This with all this money and that. Well, why didn't you tell me about the play? I thought I was your friend. Don't have any regrets. If there's somebody that you're close to, that you love, that's important in your life, and you haven't shared this opportunity with them, you're being selfish. You should at least tell them about it so that when you call them after you're rich, you can say, well, at least I did, I called you and told you, so make sure you share this thing. This is truly the golden ticket, as I like to call it.
100%. 100%. I do it to my friends, but they all think I'm crazy at this point.
That's
so,
okay.
Whatever.
It's like it's like you're offering them ketchup. It's
Yep.
like you're offering ketchup. Some people like ketchup, some people don't. That's all it is. Nothing personal.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing too is you and I and a lot of us have been in this since February. We are very educated about things that the average person, they're going to be like, you're freaking from another planet. This is nuts.
Yeah.
There's no way this company's worth this.
I know.
That's
the argument we always get.
Understanding what we're looking at and trying to expect somebody else to get it because we let them know about it. I mean, it's sort of like, nobody's going to really grasp this because they haven't been here since February watching all the things that we've gotten battle hardened over. So,
You're true.
Your sentiment is great, but if I was to tell my next door neighbor to buy AMC, he's going to go, are you freaking crazy? This isn't worth $30 already. They're in a frame of mind that I'm not going to try and convince them to think differently.
Nope, but it's not your job to.
In February.
Yeah, it's not your job. It's not our job. We can lead them to water. We can't make them drink. Okay. I wouldn't be confident in my position if I didn't do the DD. I can only tell people about it. Now, if they want to do the due diligence, which every YouTuber, every person in this community promotes, you cannot take a play in this and not do your due diligence. That's just asinine. Okay.
Nope.
You want to do that? Go to the casino. This is not a casino. This is serious money. This is serious business. And here's the other thing. It is so serious that you really have to protect yourself, because don't think for 1 second that old money wants this to go away. And if you have to go away for it to happen as an individual, you'd be gone. As a group, they can't do that. We got eyes on this, so we're protected in that way. But these are nefarious people, So, but it's only like you said, the people that you share this with, they're like, yeah, AMC. Who the hell goes to the movies? You know what I mean? Who does that? I can stream it on my, and it's like, it's not about the company. You know what I relate it to? I relate it to, I just say the widget company. It's not about the fundamentals of the company. It's the play. They shorted it. Well, during COVID, they gave away the stock and tried to drive it to make it go bankrupt and stuff like that. And the only question I have to answer when I see those people again, they haven't covered. That's all I have to say. They still haven't covered.
Yeah, but
I'm still in it.
85% of the population, they don't understand shorting. They don't understand covering.
Nope. Yep.
We are very much. That's one of the things that I've kind of gone through the same transition. I'm in about the same price you are after I average everything else. February, March. I've learned a lot more about the stock market than I ever expected I would. And it has nothing to do with company valuation. It has everything to do with the
mechanics
crap that is manipulated.
Yeah.
And like the light bulbs have really been blaring since I've learned all. It's like, screw this. And this is why Tesla is like, okay, there's a lot of companies that have nothing to do with the valuation. It's what these manipulators tried to do that backfired on them. And now you got a Tesla. It's like Tesla's never going to go back down to any kind of a low number because, everybody's gotten, now Tesla has to stay high because there's going to be so much money lost if they go back down to what they're really worth. It's like we've created a monster here. And we need to stop that crap.
The beautiful thing about this whole thing too is the monster traders that are being created as a result of this. When the market is corrected and everything is put back on the level where it should be, Oh my God, this you couldn't pay for this education. You couldn't go and take a course and learn the things that we've learned through the course of February up to this point, and you
Yeah.
couldn't put a price on it. The
Yeah.
traders, the generation of traders is now. The retail trader is seriously smart now, and that's a beautiful thing about it. They're hungry too. They want to know. They've seen, that bag of shit that we were sold, when we were in school. Oh, don't go near the stock market. It's voodoo and this and that. Not you guys. It's like a video game, and you guys are taking it by the horns. You're learning the ins and outs of it. You're learning the mechanics of it. The money. The Cayman Islands is coming up now. Blackwater. Everything. You're learning everything. And crypto. I mean, it's exciting. It's an exciting time, and I have big hope for the younger generation now. And you know what? I was one of those that are like, oh boy, I'm scared for you. As long as we can hold this war crap together here or whatever, and we don't kill each other with stupid shit here, the future is bright. The old guard has to go. I want the new guard in. I want the human beings that care for humanity to be in charge of what's going on, pulling the levers. Enough of the bullshit.
Hey, my husband's actually looking at running for governor when he's of age. So.
And he's a combat veteran, I heard too, right? Or is he an active duty?
He is a veteran. Thankfully, he never had to see combat.
Well, tell him I said thank you for his service. I appreciate him.
I will when he's done playing his game. He's taking the night off. So, but no, he's looking to run for governor of Florida, and then onward and forward. Hopefully, maybe one day. But
DeSantis is a great governor you have down there.
He is.
I hope he does some big things. He's got a good heart too. Dan Crenshaw and all them. I mean, you see it being changed over. Good thing. Change is good.
Change is good. I mean,
we gotta welcome it.
It's a very welcome change with DeSantis from Scott. Scott, I felt so bad when DeSantis had to take over because Scott really destroyed Florida.
He's doing
good.
a good job in Congress, though. He's voicing his opinions. He's bringing some stuff to light. It's like anything. Politics is yucky. It's nasty.
We do cover politics, but I mean, as someone who lived under Rick Scott, he can stay in Washington.
There you go. Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania. You guys got our health director or whoever there. So you can have her or him, or I don't know what the correct terminology is there. Jim, I guess. I don't know. But anyhow,
we just won't. I haven't. I'm still trying to figure out political correctness on a lot of things, and
I'm not politically correct. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm just I shoot from the hip. I try not to. I don't mean to insult anybody. It's not my intention. I have very thick skin, and I usually hang around people with thick skin, so. Yes. I might be a little rough, but my heart's in a great place.
And anyone that's listening that hasn't been around me or anything like that, from early days, back January, February, anytime you've been around me, I try to apologize, but I'm blunt, I'm unfiltered. I don't have time in my brain to try to figure out how to be nice in that sense. Like I can't. We don't have time.
It's truth. Truth there. It's all truth. I appreciate your time. I'm going to jump out of this thing. If you want to bring somebody else up, please, guys, engage.
For sure.
Thank you. We're a family here.
Thank you, Spoiler, for coming up, and I hope you come back on.
Thank you. Bye now.
All right, we got Existent, and Tyson is actually available to come and talk. So, Existent, Tyson, do you guys have anything?
I'm mostly listening this evening because I was listening and intrigued at the recent conversations. Very inspired. But I'm also working, so I'm not going to be speaking much tonight.
Oh, no worries. That's okay. I hope you're having fun at work.
Yeah, I'm not. I was supposed to be done hours ago, but
oh no.
Livable to do so.
Tyson, do you have anything? Any good AMC DD?
Spoiler said. I'm just going to ditto that.
What?
I'm just going to go with what Spoiler said. Good.
Okay, so he's just seconding that. All right, so I do have a question from YouTube. Thoughts on AMC CFO selling 45,000 shares? Um, I mean, I don't worry about it, guys. Like, okay, if you think of, okay, I've covered this a few times, even when they were talking about like the offerings and things like that. 45,000 shares, guys, that's a drop in the bucket most days. Um, it's we trade
Yeah.
that in a day, if not in a few hours. So that's not something I worry about. They have to. I believe if I remember correctly, reading um, that they actually had to start selling their shares off for different things, and they couldn't do it during the MOAS or something like what was it? It wasn't said MOAS, but uh, quick rise up in price or something. There was something about it, so they could be anticipating something coming, and so they're trying to sell off as they can to just do it.
I was going to say, I was going to add to that, people that are large holders inside of businesses can't sell on a whim. You've got to file paperwork, you've got to get approvals. They generally have to have, like legal counsel review. Like you said, it's not something that, the price flies tomorrow and they can sell. And obviously, insiders in AMC are not going to be in the know as to, what hedge funds are doing and when our squeeze might happen or anything like that. So I second Kenna in that I'm not worried about it. And the big thing with insider sales is they have to be kind of pre-planned and go through all kinds of due diligence internally. So it's not just something that happens.
Yep. And I guess just to add on to that, not to belabor the point, but I mean, I saw something today. I mean, if you look at the number of shares he sold, I mean, it's something like 0.00048% of the float or something like that. I mean, it was still a relatively small percentage of the shares that he held, and it was done through a 10b5-1 plan, which is one of the things that AA had discussed, like in one of his previous, interviews. And essentially, I mean, that kind of plan means that, um, the shares are held basically in trust by a broker, and in order to be able to sell shares, you have to plan ahead, likely months in advance in order to make a sale. There's some, forms of data modeling that go around it, like in terms of like meeting certain conditions in terms of when you can sell. Um, and so like I said, I'm not going to belabor too much because I think you guys kind of covered it. But I mean, it wasn't done on a whim. It wasn't, one of those things where he thought a price was good and he sold. It wasn't really a significant amount of the shares that he held or of the float. Um, and so I don't know. I mean, I kind of go on about it because I see a lot of stuff about that, like out on Reddit and on Twitter when people look at insiders selling shares. And I mean, there are times when shares are held outside of those plans or where there are different kinds of situations, but this is not one of those situations.
Well, and to offset it too, so Reef had sent this to me and brought it to my attention today that the Treasury of the state of North Carolina, they own 145,220 shares. They basically dropped $8,231,000 on AMC. So I mean, there's constant like institutional buyers and insiders sell. Like it's always fluctuating like that. So it's just this is something that I do need people to kind of understand is that we do need that kind of movement, that volatility a little bit to keep the stock going, right? So like that's why I know people trash day traders, but they're kind of helping us. Like they're keeping it alive, they're keeping it moving and everything. It's what they do. Everybody plays a role in all this, right? You have your apes buying and holding. You have your day traders keeping the stock, up and down and moving. Because if everyone just literally bought and held, it would look very odd. It would look like GME at this point. Like it doesn't move, and so um, it's just how it works. It's just part of the stock market, and it's vital. It is a vital thing to see and do. So yeah, that's all I'll say on that. Um, all right. do we have anything else, any final thoughts that anyone wants to bring to light?
If you want to end it, I'm good with that. But I was going to ask, so what happened with Robinhood? I know I've heard a couple people mention something about Robinhood and
Oh
what.
gosh. We covered it
No,
at the beginning. No, it's cool.
no worries. I'll catch up later.
No, it's fine. Yeah, basically Robinhood bought Say Technology, and Say Technology we're finding had a parent company linked to like TikTok and all of that. What was it? ByteDance, and they are a data mining company. So there's that. That's the brief version.
Existent, were you talking about their shares in particular, or like what happened with their stock?
No, I've heard people reference something that happened with Robinhood, and I hadn't looked into anything yet.
Yeah, that's
Oh, well, they released earnings this afternoon, and their earnings were kind of trash, and so they fell like roughly 8% or something like that after market.
Ah,
So maybe I can add to that because I saw something on Robinhood and I paid attention to it. Apparently, there was an audio file released where Vlad was negotiating with the SEC or whatever regulatory. They were basically saying, y'all have to put $4 billion cash up in order to survive this margin calling and the, your exposure you have in the market. And Vlad negotiated that down to a $700 million payment instead of $4 billion. In exchange, he said on audio, we cannot allow the buy button to be functional for certain securities. Now that's been leaked. If that's a true statement, man, Robinhood they just committed a huge crime by admitting that, if you can't let your customers sell a certain, whatever the symbols are, and you're cutting that deal with the government, man, that's scandalous. And I listened to that audio. I'm like, holy crap, if this is a legit thing, we're getting ready to hear a whole lot of crap in the next, 30 days about Robinhood and the collaborations on how these deals are cut so that the SEC went from 4 billion to 700 million, and in exchange you can't sell a stock. Man, the retail investors are going to be screaming. And so I did see that today. That might be what you're referring to because that's pretty scandalous.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I saw that today. I'm sorry, Kenna, but I saw it today, and I posted that in like the market hours chat, like in here. It's kind of crazy video. I mean, I had a pretty strong reaction to it. I mean, it was it wasn't like a Spaces call, but it was something similar to that. And I think Elon Musk was on it, and some other people were on it. But I mean, he essentially explained how, early that morning, like the infamous morning where they turned off the buy button, they had called the DTCC and were talking to them about kind of what could be done. Like they started off with, a number, I think it was, 3 to 4 billion, like in terms of the margin call, that then got negotiated down to like 1.4 billion, to where ultimately, after they decided to turn the buy button off, they only had to post 700 million in margin deposit. And yeah, I mean, just for me hearing that, like it sounded pretty damning, particularly from like a perjury perspective in terms of the testimony that he gave to the House Financial Services Committee.
Yeah.
I didn't watch like the entire video, but I think I mean the first place I saw it was on Twitter. I think Pink Cats on Acid had tweeted it out earlier today. But I mean the video was posted a few days ago. But yeah, I mean that was like I said, it definitely elicited a strong reaction from me.
Yep.
understandable. I mean, scandalous kind of just goes hand in hand with Robinhood at this point. So, I don't know, but yeah, we'll end it for the night, guys. AMC podcast for the night. We covered a lot of ground. We covered some old information, some new information, and I appreciate you guys all being up here. It always helps to add more points of views. So like spoiler, To the Moon, Halistar, Existent, First Strike. You guys have definitely helped me out tonight for sure. And I appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good evening.
You too, guys. All right, we will be back live on Friday on the Twitter space for our GME apes. And I do actually, I have a very excited announcement to make for next week. All right, so next week is going to be all about NFTs. Monday we have Brent on, and he's bringing a special guest to talk about NFTs. Wednesday I am still lining it up, but we're going to have more NFT talk, and it'll be on the Discord. So those two are on the Discord. Friday night, working title. I don't know if everyone knows Poopsie or whatever he's going by on Twitter at this point. But he has created some really cool NFTs that are, if you've seen the poop emoji everywhere on Twitter, I had to ask because I'd been seeing it everywhere. And so he created these NFTs, and they all have like the characteristics of the people that have them and all this other stuff. So it's really cool, and he's basically trying to raise money to buy more shares of AMC. And so what I am doing, again, working title here, I have no idea what I'm calling it, but I came up with like the shit show because I wanted all of the poop emojis up on the Twitter space and everything, so we can talk about NFTs and everything and how they work. And so again, working title, not sure exactly, but that is for next Friday as well. So we've got a crazy lineup coming up. So again, Friday, GME on Twitter. Saturday, Tyler will be hosting his first podcast about broad market. I think either on Twitter Space or Discord. I don't think he's decided. Sunday, we are doing broad market on the Twitter Space. And then you know the rest of the schedule. So yeah, that is all of the excitement coming up, guys. So I will see you guys in a couple days.
Yep. Thanks for your work, Kenna.
Not a problem. Good night.
Thank you, Kenna.
Good night.